Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Gay Racing Podcast. Zack and Alex are here. We are recording on Sunday night, right after the NASCAR Cup Series race at Martinsville. Normally we record on Mondays. We are coming at you very fresh. We have not gotten to sleep on this. On probably, last week at Homestead, Alex, we said that was the most quality race. The most quality playoff race ever, right? I think this might get up there as the most controversial playoff race ever.
Oh yeah. Like, even with all the drama, this was still a very high quality race.
Yeah.
Just like last week, it's been very refreshing, all things considered. Considered as a short track, this car struggled on the short tracks. I greatly enjoyed this race. Of course, the elephant in the room, whole bunch of drama happened at the very end of this.
We're definitely going to get into how good this race was, as we should. This race deserves its flowers. I just think there's no way we can't talk about the drama first. There's no way. Yeah. So getting into it, there's so many layers to this. There's race manipulation. There's Deja Vu with the Hail Melon coming back.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And not only there was two separate instances of possible race manipulation. I guess we'll start with William Byron.
Well, let's set the scene. Let's set the scene for everyone. So, because we're in a drama, we're watching a drama, right? So let's set the scene. William Byron was on older tires and he was fading back while Christopher Bell was trapped a lap down because Byron and Kyle Larson had stayed out under the last caution.
He could not get the wave around. Yep.
And that is why Byron is on the older tires, right? We get down to the very end of the race. Byron is starting to fade. Bell is still a lap down because no additional caution came back out. At this point, Byron is +1 over Christopher Bell. Just 1 point. Bell would win the tiebreaker because of his second place finish at Vegas. It's the best finish in the round. It's the tiebreaker. Chevrolet is Byron, and you had Chastain and Austin Dillon behind the 24.
Yeah. And who did get past Byron? Because Cindric ended up getting past Byron, and Hamlin got by him, right?
I think so.
And then the next spots behind Byron were Chastain and Dillon. And Bell basically seemingly had no spots to get because he was the first car one lap down.
Well, and with Byron, he was not going to pass anyone because he was going a lot slower than everyone else. So Chevrolet had two cars basically wall to wall blocking.
It was very obvious.
Yeah.
It was very, there's no hiding it. Chastain had a bumper. Before. Chastain had a bumper beside Byron and he backed off. It was very, very obvious.
Yeah. But on the flip side, on the last lap, Bubba Wallace is going super slow, seemingly dropping like a rock. And Bell is dive bombing into 3, knowing that is a spot, and does a wall ride, the Ross Chastain Hail Melon, essentially, to get around the 23 in time.
Well, half a Hail Melon.
Yeah, it was not the same thing.
In turn 3, he does the dive bomb, and then once he was in the wall, he just rode the wall. So it was half. It was the half Hail Melon, which is illegal after that happened. It's illegal.
Yes. After the Chastain thing, NASCAR said you can't do that. It's a safety violation. Bell does this, the half wall ride, as you're calling it.
The half Hail Melon.
He does get the spot. He would win the tiebreaker. But NASCAR doesn't officially say who the championship for is because there's a lot going on. And I appreciate that NASCAR took the time to really think about this and make a decision.
They had much to think about.
Much to think about. But look, NASCAR made the call that Bell committed a safety violation and William Byron will advance to the championship 4. Very controversial no matter what they did.
It was controversial just from the outset.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a right call here, but I think in general, when you just look at it, everything involved, I do think this is probably the best, if you want to call it that, call they could make, because it is against the rules to do the wall ride, even if it's not a full Hail Melon,
But he definitely did it though. Like
he
he
did
was
it.
gassing up. Like he got some momentum off that turn from
Look,
that little wall
desperate
ride
times call for desperate measures, and that's what Christopher Bell did. I don't personally blame him for it, and I don't personally blame Chevrolet for blocking the whole track for William Byron. That is something you're going to have. You're going to have team orders with the format like this. And Zach, you and I've really come around on the format. You've kind of gone back and forth, but I've personally grown to this format a lot. But look, it is inherently a flawed format. So you're going to have team orders like this. It is part of it. And we really saw those colors come out tonight.
I need to bring this up though, because yes, team orders, and I'm fine with team orders in racing. You know, if you own 4 cars, do whatever with those 4 cars that you want. Honestly, here's the difference though, right? And I see a lot of complaints about team orders in F1. I believe in the sprint race yesterday, Oscar Piastri gave up a spot for Lando to get more points, right? Here's the difference though. In F1, for example, more traditional championship, it's basically Verstappen and Lando fighting for the championship, and that's just 2 drivers, and they each have 1 teammate. That's only 4 cars that are going to be participating in any team order shenanigans, right? Here with the playoffs, though, the NASCAR playoffs, the difference is we have basically 6 cars involved in this fight for the last 2 playoff spots. And the way NASCAR is, not only do you have your teammates, but you have your manufacturer teammates.
Yep.
That is basically to the point where it's like a majority of the field. So in this race, there is a potential for a majority of the field to partake in these team order games. It's just the volume of the cars, and the situation has more cars at the cut line, like in this championship battle, right? So in 2 ways, there are just so many more cars involved in this to where it's so easy for this to happen. And we've seen it happen before. I don't think we've seen it as egregious as this, besides like Spingate, but this was like 2 instances of it happening. Because like the Bubba Wallace thing, maybe I think there's definitely evidence for the Chevy thing. The Bubba Wallace, it's a bit of a gray area, but still. My thing with this is we went from talking about a really good race to now we're talking about a championship spot being decided over Bubba Wallace purposely slowing down and then 2 cars blockading. That's not what NASCAR is about. Is it? Is this what we want? Is this what the playoffs are about? You know, and I definitely don't fault the teams or the manufacturers.
No.
I don't fault them for being smart. Well, kind of. For optimizing the gamesmanship out of this. Maybe they
have to.
Because they were being a little obvious, but they have to. With everything that's on the line, NASCAR, this format puts them in that situation. It is, how bad do you want this? Where it's over 1 spot because you keep bunching the playoff contenders back up in points. I'm surprised, honestly, this hasn't happened more. I think 4 years ago, you know, when we saw like Harvick and like Kyle Busch, you know, like, or Harvick trying to spin Kyle Busch, I think we kind of saw shades of this maybe happening. Maybe a few weeks ago when we saw the Toyota guys get passed by Reddick at the Roval, we kind of saw shades of it happening. And again, I understand it, but it's just like,
there's been so many instances of just like glimmers of this kind of thing. And look, everyone has known that this is something that could happen with this format. And I feel like NASCAR would be very oblivious to not know that this is something that could come with this format. But here we are. It's been 10 years into the format. This is probably the most egregious thing we have seen. But at the same time, like you said, I can't blame the teams. That's why going back to the actual...
I like how you said that, though.
Going back to the actual penalty, they made the right call because I feel like they can't just say, well, you can't block. You can't block to help a manufacturer team because then you're going to piss off the manufacturer.
They weren't even really like blocking. It's just they weren't passing the 24.
Right. But then could Bell argue that's in violation of the 100% rule? So then you just go down another spiral.
I heard that rule's not even like totally in effect anymore.
I don't know.
From
There's so
something?
many different rules, and I
Denny
think that
said that on his podcast once. He might have been lying.
So I think the biggest problem NASCAR has right now, there are too many rules, and we need to flush some of them out of here and just make things more concrete and clear.
Well, okay.
I think that's the biggest problem we have right now.
I agree with you, but you're not going to like what I have to say. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you will. I don't know. So my analogy to this is like a tree. It's like a stock car racing, you know, maybe 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it was simpler than it is now. And with so many rules in NASCAR that have been made to make the races, I guess, better, I feel like there have been so many rules and they just branch out from the simple tree trunk that we had, and they keep branching out because there's loopholes in these rules.
Mm-hmm.
So then they have to keep making another rule, like the wall ride, for example. That's a rule. They had to ban that. They keep making branching out rules to where this tree is getting really complicated now, right? Because Alex, what I just heard you say is because of the playoffs, we are having this happen. And I know some people aren't going to like that, but I don't see how you keep this from happening without having to, again, now create more rules, more branches off branches that already have branches to keep these team order games from happening. I don't know how, and I'm a problem solver. In my mind, I'm always trying to solve a problem. I don't know how you solve this problem if you want to keep the playoffs.
So let's say, hypothetically, NASCAR announces in the offseason, we're done with the playoffs. We're going to go back to 2003, full season points.
Don't tempt me with a good time. Okay, babe. Okay. But my champion is going to actually be the best car? What?
That would make everyone happy, right? But you're still going to have team orders in one way or another. However, it will not be as egregious as what we saw tonight.
And that's the point.
Yeah. So, look, I know I am like a playoff defender, but if you want to prevent something like we saw tonight with both Chevrolet and Toyota potentially manipulating this, the only way to do it is to go back to how it was. But you're still going to have different things happen.
Yeah.
You're not going to completely ever get rid of team orders. Ever.
Definitely. And to be fair,
yeah,
go ahead.
I just don't think there's ever going to be a complete solved problem here. Like go back to your initial point.
To be fair, there also is a situation where, like, if we have a traditional championship, full season championship, or even like back to the Chase era, and it's like, you know, there's a guy at the last race who needs to make up 5 points or even 2 or 1 points to win the championship, and he has a teammate in front of them. Oh, he has a flat tire, right? Like that could still happen. Yeah. But the likelihood of it, you know, we want this championship to come down to nice, hard racing, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, we didn't get that tonight at Martinsville. That's not what it came down to. It came down to two forms of race manipulation and one illegal move on a wall ride, and then a bunch of old white men in the NASCAR booth deciding what should happen. So that's what decided not the great racing we saw. I mean, it decided that Ryan Blaney's going to go to the championship for, which is great, but yeah, like, so I'm just like looking through our doc. Is there anything else that we need to touch on? Because I don't feel ready to move on from it, but like I don't want to like talk about this for an hour.
Well, I think we covered everything pretty well. I have some reaction here. Brad Keselowski put on Twitter that quote, "This is the straw that broke the camel's back for the playoffs," and we kind of touched on this.
Yeah,
that's been said so many times. I highly doubt it.
I don't know, because this is, again, as I said at the top of the episode, this is the most controversial playoff race we've ever had, and this is not really a good look for NASCAR. Again, it is a big black eye on what was a great race. I don't, and again, it's like I feel like I know what the vision for the playoffs is, right? I don't know if that's definitely not it. Tonight was not it, you know. So There's a lot to work through out in my mind. That's why, of all episodes where we don't get to sleep on this, this is like the worst.
Yeah.
This is the worst race to have to like record 50 minutes after it happened.
Mind you, we planned on recording this Sunday night before all this happened.
Yeah,
but
we're both busy Monday. But like,
yeah. So, hear me out. You're never going to get rid of team orders. I don't think going back to a full season format's realistic.
No.
What I would want, and I know you want this too.
I'm excited to hear this idea. Okay.
They scrap the winner take all finale, and it's a 3-race finale. Maybe just 9 races, 9-race playoff, 3-3-3. I feel like that would help, right? Because right now you're trying to get into one race, and with the 1-race finale, you could have all kinds of manipulation in the same kind of way.
True. Like, what if? But that's the thing. I feel like it's harder for this to happen at Phoenix because, like, you don't need points. You need to beat the guy that you're racing. So it's
next year Talladega is going to be in this round, and that is all about manufacturer games.
Yes, true. And also talk about these manufacturer games. I mean, go back to Talladega this year. I mean, they literally, like, Larson is literally not pushing Brad, so Brad doesn't win.
Right.
Like, that is, and then the stuff we kind of saw at the Roval, like, we've been seeing manufacturer games a lot lately. And I get it. And I love how the manufacturers are like that. I mean, stock car racing is all about seeing a Toyota Camry win. It's about seeing a Ford Mustang win. It's about seeing
go back to 2011. Win. There was a lot of pressure from Ford to Trevor Bayne saying, do not push the 24 of Jeff Gordon. We cannot do that. I mean, Bayne ended up winning the 500, but that was a big topic that year in 2011. Like, this has always been a thing.
Yeah. I think it's cool, but like, is that what NASCAR is about though? Is that what we want to see as fans? I don't know. How do you officiate?
As long as you have manufacturers, it's going to be a part of it.
It's a weird, but also this used to not be a big part of the sport as well, you know?
Well, I think it's been escalated by the playoffs, but
somewhat. But also I think the culture with like the key partner system, and like the teams are just in more communication. I mean, they probably had a little group chat going on with the 1 crew chief and the 3 crew chief. Like, hey, bud, the deal? Here's the deal. And you're texting it to them. Like, how do you officiate that? Right. No phones on the pit box. No phones on the pit box.
Right.
Like, oh my gosh. I don't know. Wonder, is there any way, like, do you think they're going to change a rule? Like, not about team orders, just about the playoffs or anything? It's
NASCAR, probably. They change the rules all the time. But again, I don't know
the
rule mid-race and never officially changed the rule a few weeks ago with the DVP, the damaged vehicle policy. So probably, but like, what will it be? I don't know.
I don't know how you solve this problem.
I don't think you can.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's what frustrates me.
Yeah.
Because the easiest scapegoat is the playoff format. And I will stand by that.
Yeah, and that's what's kind of frustrating for me is I do think this is a fun format. It is entertaining.
I was very engaged with this race today because of the format.
And I said last week, Homestead would not have been as good without the format.
And I agree.
We had 3 different strategies because of the format. Then Martinsville today, he had so many different strategies going on again, and it was very compelling because of the format.
It is. Yep.
And by the way, slay of the week to Steve Letarte for being able to eloquently explain everything. I understood exactly what was going on thanks to him. So slay of the week to Steve Letarte. But I feel like the answer is we don't know. I think NASCAR made the right choices what they had. I don't think you can say, well, Chevrolet blocked, you're going to piss off Chevy. And then Toyota manipulated by having the 23 drop back. Unless there's like crazy evidence like there was with Spingate in 2013, I don't think that there's much they could have done besides following their rules, their crazy branches of rules, Zach.
Yeah.
They followed it. I feel like they did as much as they could.
They did. I think what we haven't talked about, I think the 1 and the 3 teams are going to be facing some kind of penalty. Now, I know some people on Twitter. So before I get back to that, some people on Twitter were saying that they should have DQ'd the 24 as well. I don't think you can do that. I know in Spingate, like the 56 got punished because he benefited from Spingate, but I think that was more because the whole organization of Michael Waltrip Racing got penalized.
Yeah.
I don't know how you penalize the 24 team, because what did they do wrong? You have no evidence that Rudy Fugle was like asking, even if Rudy Fugle in the 2014 team was asking cars not to pass them.
Yeah.
How is that illegal? I would be asking everyone not to pass me. It's a race. Please don't pass me, Alex. Please don't pass me.
Go back to that caution. The last caution that came out was when Alex Bowman, a Hendrick car, spun Carson Hocevar. Are we going to get suspicious about that too?
I thought about that too. I almost tweeted it. I'm like, interesting.
Like, I feel like you're never going to solve this problem. You're going to keep digging. You're going to keep digging. And again, ultimately, I think NASCAR made best of a choices they could have. Which sucks
I
for
think
Christopher
the
Bell,
1 and the 3, they actually, like, from what they said on the radio, I believe the exact, I don't have how the exact words. They were like, the 24 is +1. Does the 1 car know the deal? Does the 3 car know the deal? I think that put them at risk for a penalty. And I think they're going to get some kind of penalty. Is
the 3 car going to be like a negative points by the end of the year?
I think it will be a big financial penalty. Yeah. Like, wasn't Michael Waltrip Racing's like the biggest one in the history of the sport? Like
something like that.
It could be something like that. Or like I don't know, maybe it's to the whole manufacturer. Like, that's the only way the 24 car are they going to penalize every single Chevrolet team in the field?
Right. But and at that point, it's
that's
like,
funny.
What kind of rabbit hole are you going down? Yeah.
That'd be so funny. Denny Hamlin gets into the playoffs because all the Chevrolets well, I guess Bell would get in. Bell would just get in.
Yeah.
All the Chevrolets get penalized.
I don't know. We could probably talk about this for an hour.
It's complicated. Yeah. This is a hard issue to talk about because I don't have the solution and I'm frustrated by it. Right. And it doesn't make me like, are you leaving tonight being a proud NASCAR fan?
If I ignore all the drama, yeah. And I mean,
that's the
as a fan of the Ryan Blaney, I'm really happy. But on an ethical standpoint, no.
It's hard to feel good.
Frustrating.
I'm glad you share. Alex, before we recorded, I was kind of worried that you were going to come on here and be like, I don't want to talk about that. Ryan Blaney won. That's what's important. In our America, that's what's important, that Ryan Blaney won.
Well, maybe I should have, because that's honestly the realest thing you've ever said on the podcast.
I'm just glad you didn't shut that conversation down and you let us talk about it.
Well, no, it's a genuine problem that NASCAR has. And again, like we've said a million times now, I don't think it is a solvable thing in the current state of the series.
Well, you know what? All the other Blaney fans tonight, they're drinking their beers in their bathtub, and they don't give a single. They don't care what happens.
Like,
actually, all of Team Penske, actually.
All of this going down, as just a Blaney fan, I was just kind of like, well, I'm glad I'm not impacted by this, because I'm whatever.
I had that same feeling as a Larson fan, even though I literally just saw my driver lose his playoff spot on the racetrack. And yet I was so distracted by all of this controversy that I haven't had time to actually feel disappointment. So it's kind of nice.
Guys, Zack thought Larson had this race locked up. He was texting me in all caps, like, Larson's going to run away with it. He's got this, a bunch of other things. You were getting really hyped up.
I didn't.
And then I'm like, Zack, Blaney has a long run car, and you're like, I don't know, you're going to get there fast enough. Then Elliott got by, then Blaney got by. I wanted to just give Zack a hug because I'm just like, oh, you were so excited.
Yeah, and they almost pitted during that caution too. They almost pitted.
Yep.
And I don't know if that would have made the difference, to be honest. That 12 was fast. I mean, the 12 got by the 9 on the same tires, so
yeah.
I think that was just a skill issue. Unfortunately, Blaney's just really good at Martinsville, and
Well, while we're talking about Ryan Blaney, let's jump down to talk about Ryan Blaney, because he did win this race. And
did he?
2 years in a row, Zack. He wins the penultimate race of the season. He's in the championship 4 again, looking for back-to-back championships. I would not have predicted this a few weeks ago. Like, the vibes have not been the same as last year, right? But wow, what a performance. Long run car. And even with the little issue with NASCAR's officiating, they didn't throw the caution. For Kyle Busch's car, they had a loose wheel. It was rolling on the track. NBC was like, hey, there's a tire. They're going to have to wave off the caution. NASCAR led a caution, did not throw a caution right away. They had to restart. Blaney was pissed off on the radio, right? Lost several spots because
who was the pit reporter? Kim Kuhn. She said, and Ryan Blaney is still ranting under this caution, like implying that he's just nonstop yapping about it.
It reminds me of that Bob Pockrass tweet that's like, Kyle Busch is still complaining.
Oh my God.
But Blaney, I said it so much last year, and I've said it so many times this year. His mental is so much improved from years ago. He was pissed off. He got it out of his system, and he locked in.
He needs to vent.
Right back up there. And he's got it. He's got the it factor right now. It is just remarkable.
That whole 12 team does. Like,
low key, Zach, he might be the favorite going into Phoenix again. Low key.
I mean, I'm trying not to say anything.
We'll talk about it. I
keep my cards close to my chest. That's why I always thought about maybe we should do fantasy at the start of the episode. Because, like, I have thoughts. I don't know. I don't want to say anything. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, no, you're right. I think, obviously, well, it's the same thing as last year, though. It's kind of obvious. Like, you know, Byron hasn't won in months. Who else is in the Final Four? Reddick is whatever.
Reddick was on vacation today.
He was on vacation today. And Logano, Logano has speed, but man, that 12 team matches
They're
them
on a different level.
or beats them. Honestly. Yeah. Like
all year. The 12 has been better than the 22 all year. Even on short tracks.
And they're going both into a championship race. I think in this year you pick Blaney over him. And and again, it's just Team Penske's set up very well for 3 in a row.
They're half the championship for Team Penske.
It's the two defending champions. Like, gosh, this is insane. Like,
wow.
And what makes me feel good for the Blaney fans is that choke at Homestead now does not matter.
Yep.
Because man, that sucked. But dude, I'm glad that doesn't matter anymore.
That would have been devastating if Blaney came close at Homestead and then came close again here. Like, if he wouldn't have been able to get by Elliott or a caution came out, because he had a long run car, just like at Homestead. If something would have happened and he would have lost the race, that would have been devastating. I am really, really glad that it didn't.
It'd be so devastating if your favorite driver choked at Homestead and it costed him the spot. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It would be.
How does that feel, Zach?
If Larson would have wrecked himself to get by Blaney, if he would have just been a little bit more patient. And that's the thing. Can I talk about Larson now?
Yeah, go for it.
This is a failure of a season. To win 6 races and not make it to the Final Four because you're 7 points short because you stepped on your own dick at Homestead. I don't care. And yes, hindsight's 2020. I understand that. But you have got to be more valuable about your points. You do. You really do. They were in fine. They would have made it in on points. I believe. They would have made it in on points. Like, they just needed 7 points. If they would have just finished second, right? He probably would have gotten by the 12. And that's not the only mistake that 5 car has made this year, right? I am so frustrated. Yes, this format rewards that driving style, but man, not taking yourself out of the win or second place is nice too. I'm frustrated. I hope that 5 team feels my same frustration. I hope it's not like, it's the playoffs. We just wasn't our year. No,
that's on them.
You had a huge gap over everyone else coming into the round, and you blew it. I am so disappointed. I'm so upset. So I should turn these. I'm turning the lights off.
The Kyle Larson shrine in Zach's house is in mourning right now. Oh, the lights are off on the Kyle Larson shrine.
It's gone. I'll see you in February. I
just want to point out to everyone the Joseph Newgarden shrine, the light is still on. Stay tuned for 2025. Am I right?
He's
Zach?
won more recent big races and well, he hasn't won a championship, but he's won he's an Indy 500 champion. More recent since Kyle Larson has won anything that big. So I'm a Ryan Blaney fan for the next 7 days, I guess. Am I?
Hey, you're on the team. You're joining.
Boy, who else is? Tyler Reddick's in the Final Four. He's cute.
Yeah.
I have to keep looking to see who's in the Final Four. I'm like, wait, who's in it?
But I'm cheering for Ryan Blaney, Zach. Isn't that more than Reddick? No.
What? Are you saying I'm Peter than Reddick?
I'm cheering for Ryan Blaney. Isn't our friendship more than that? Oh, you have to really think about that one.
I'll give back. Give me about how long did NASCAR take to make that call? To
like 10 minutes? I don't know.
It was not 10 minutes. It was like half an hour. Give me half an hour. I was wondering. I'm like, damn. It kind of sucks that Bell and Byron both had just had to chill on pit road till a decision was made.
And they had to have a camera on their face.
Did you see that tear rolling down Bell's cheek? I literally want to like sue NASCAR for that. Like, oh my god,
that was so mean.
I want to give him a hug.
Oh well. Let's wrap up this segment by saying the racing was really good. We talked about it throughout, but like
30 minutes into the episode. Yep, the race was good.
Is Martinsville back? Like this tire, I believe either the left or right side tires was one of the option tires from Richmond.
I think it was the right side. The right side. And then the left side was really, really, really soft.
And it made a difference. Tire wear actually mattered. We saw it again with Byron and Larson fading at the end. It was awesome. Best short track race of Gen 7, I would say. I mean, Bristol earlier this year in the spring, that was kind of a freak scenario. But this was like pure Martinsville. Like, is it the best Martinsville race ever? By far? No, not.
I feel like
by any amount, but
I still feel like Xfinity has better racing there. Because I think the only flaw with this next gen racing still is like the short run is still a little, where everyone might have fresher tires. The short run's still a little meh. It's definitely really hard to pass in the short run. But I mean, in the long run, though, it's still hard to pass. But that's always been Martinsville, to be honest. Like, I think the long run, that racing was very acceptable. I thought it was very entertaining. And we saw guys actually get bumped out of the way, which has not been a thing. We have not seen that at Martinsville.
I've missed that. I've missed it.
We saw guys making mistakes. Yeah. I mean, we saw Carson Hocevar basically get spun by Bowman. We saw Bell make a mistake, and he spun himself out.
Ryan Blaney moved Larson.
Even that last lap, like Bell got loose going into the corner, like trying to make that move. Like those cars did not have grip. There was one clip of Ty Gibbs in practice. He was like, he was way sideways coming off the corner. These cars had noticeably less grip. Just from my eye, just from my gay eyes, they had noticeably less grip. And I think that's exactly what the next gen car needed on short tracks. Is it perfect? I don't know. I'd have to rewatch the race because, again, those short runs were just kind of
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's perfect, but this is compare this to the first Gen 7 Martinsville race. Like, this is like great, I think.
Now, what are they bringing to Phoenix?
I'm hoping it's that Richmond tire.
I don't know what they're bringing to Phoenix. I don't know if they want to be that experimental.
Right. I guess I remember that Bell quote where he was like, I don't know if he wants them to do that because then it's like you just take tires on elite restart. And
I think he was saying that about the option tires. Because, well, I got confused. I thought they were going to have that red compound back. I thought they're going to have a yellow and a red compound coming into this week.
It was just that specific tire, which I think that is a good choice.
I got confused. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
Do that for Phoenix. Just do what they did here. I mean, it's probably already set in stone, but
that's why. And they might not, again, I don't know. They might not want to do that for Phoenix. I also thought the black, I don't know if it was brake dust and or rubber, but like the black buildup on the side, that was kind of cool. Yeah. You need to get that damn race win diecast 164 or whatever. That discount tire buff that Ryan Blaney gets in this race. I love that paint scheme on the 12.
It looks so good on the 12.
It looks so good on the 12.
Love it.
So much better than it does on the 2.
I agree. Well, the championship 4 is set. It's Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick, Joey Logano, and William Byron. We'll make our fantasy picks later. That may or may not have to be our championship pick. And when we get into fantasy, by the way, it's not over because you had to win it today to lock that up.
Yeah.
So we're going to be going to Phoenix.
You could, yeah, but you're now in a must-win situation.
Yeah.
So.
And we'll make our picks later in the episode. We want to talk about one more thing from Martinsville, and that is from the truck race. Taylor Gray and Christian Eckes had a bit of a disagreement. Christian Eckes won the race. He pretty much drove straight through the corner, forcing Taylor Gray to not make it. And yeah.
I'll set the scene. So Christian Eckes is very comfortably in on points, dominated the race. Taylor Gray had fresher tires on a late caution. The 17 team took tires, Taylor Gray. And he is coming. I believe, does he beat him on a restart or something? He gets in front of the 19, and the 19 just shoves him to the fence. Now, okay, to be fair, the 17 left about a half a lane, quarter of a lane near the bottom. The 19 didn't really, he kind of hit the 17 right in the corner, and I feel like he hit the 17 in just a way that I don't think he meant to send Taylor Gray up the track that much, because it was like very dramatic. I think the 17 got knocked way more than normal. Like, it was just a weird physics thing. Like, it's just the specific angle where the trucks hit. So I don't think Christian Eckes meant to do that. I think he just meant to rattle his cage, because the 17 lost like 3-4 spots from the incident, and he could not get back up there. And the 17 again was in a must win. The thing is that Christian Eckes did not need to win that race to make it to the championship 4. He could have let the 17 just go on by, and the 19 would still be at the playoffs. But what people are kind of upset about is Christian Eckes did that selfishly, kind of. Like, can you fault him for wanting to win the race for his team? Sure. But the thing is, now Christian Eckes has made an enemy going into the truck race at Phoenix, the finale. And from what we saw last year, I don't know how much more clowned up the truck race at Phoenix can get, but I'm expecting some heavy shenanigans if Christian Eckes is near Taylor Gray Friday night.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I definitely want to see it, actually. That's going to be fun. We saw. Did you watch the truck? Yeah, you watched the truck race, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. That whole walk that Taylor Gray, because he parked it near turn 1 and 2 on pit lane. He's walking all the way down pit road. Our good friend Matt Weaver was there. Everyone's following this guy. NASCAR security's there. He gets over the little crossover stairs across the wall to where victory lane is on the front stretch. He's going, and he goes to talk to Christian. He tells Christian, dude, I could have sent you in the fence so many times. This is BS. And it definitely was the hot topic of Friday night. My opinion. Yeah, you go ahead.
I want to shout out Amanda Busick, who was the reporter for Fox, walking with Taylor Gray that whole time. She tried interviewing him at the start of the walk, and he knocked the microphone out of the way. And then when he went in to talk to Eckes, she was there with him, and she walked back with him, and she got him to talk in the microphone, do a quick, brief question and answer. But shout out to her, because that's a high intensity moment, and she never backed down. I think that deserves some praise. That's not an easy environment to be in.
No, I could never be a journalist. These angry NASCAR drivers. He was so mad. I'm surprised he didn't beat him up. At least he didn't do what Chandler Smith did.
I do appreciate that, that big NASCAR security guy who's at the scene of all these incidents this year, and just in general, he was yelling he just wants to talk. He just wants to talk. So
he just wants to talk. It would have been funny if he just wants to talk, and then Taylor just starts swinging. He did not just want to talk.
So I appreciate that he trusted Taylor at his word and let him go in there and say what he had to say.
Christian's a little skinny little twink. Taylor, quoting the famous Jamie Little, is a thick young man. I don't think Christian wanted any of that thick young man all up on him. So,
oh boy, I
might have been different in that situation, but
that takes us.
You're mad.
That takes us to the Xfinity race when Cole Custer was punched, put that in quotes or whatever, by
Girl,
Chandler
you
Smith.
took me out of the championship 4. That's what Chandler Smith did.
Pretty much. And that same security guy gets in the middle of them, is pushing them apart. Because he ain't taking part of this.
Apart. Bro, he's like it's like that in cartoons. He's like holding Chandler by the head. Chandler's trying to...
yeah.
Cole, like, he pushed him in the shoulder and Cole like smiled.
Yeah.
Like,
I love Cole Custer. He's so funny. He did not care.
I replied to one tweet. It's like I know, Alex, you've not watched Dragon Ball, but if you've ever watched Dragon Ball Z before, it's like when the character goes to punch a character and the character getting punched doesn't even flinch. Just like, that's all. Like, it was one of those.
That's all you got?
That's all you got? So, same situation in Xfinity. Chandler Smith might be committing some shenanigans. And we had shenanigans all weekend.
Yeah.
Actually. That's great.
Yeah, the Chandler Smith punch or slap on the shoulder was very funny.
Yeah.
And I did like Cole Custer's interview afterward. He's like, I don't know if I even felt the punch, or he said something like that.
He was making him so mad. That was a great interview. He was trolling. Cole Custer was trolling. I love Cole Custer.
Yeah.
That actually, I hope he somehow wins the championship again. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Zach, is it time for fantasy?
It is. NASCAR Phoenix. We are still picking the winner. But, well, last year, for the first time ever, one of the championship guys did not win the race. Yep. Now, the situation is I have a 3-point lead over Alex. So the only way for Alex to tie that is to pick the winner of the race. He would win the tiebreaker because he would then have 4 wins against my 2 wins on the season. So it is a must-win situation for Alex. I picked Larson at Martinsville. He did give me that 1 point, but I really thought he was going to win that race. And I was close, but not close enough. And man, I almost picked Blaney last week too.
And I almost did too.
Damn it.
Damn it. Hamlin.
That's this fantasy game. I have so many second place finishes this year, by the way. Tonight wasn't one of them, I'm just saying. But all right, I have a list. The bottom of the list is getting a little jumbled, but because I didn't have a whole day. I didn't have my time in the car on Monday morning to think about it. Oh, I should probably put it up.
Yeah, the little fantasy graphic.
I know, I forgot.
It's okay.
It's okay. Is it though? I'm not ready. Oh my God, I'm nervous.
All right.
My championship comes down to this, Alex.
It sure
does. And I have no teammates to manipulate this for me. I need Jackson to like hack into your like computer and like make you pick the wrong driver. Like I don't know.
All right.
You see the fantasy screen, right?
Yep. Are you ready?
No, I'm not. Give me a minute.
You have a list. What happened to your list?
I gotta get the damn picture.
Oh, okay.
Good
I'm
Lord.
ready.
I know you're ready.
Let's do it. If I win a tiebreaker. If you get even 1 point, you don't even have to win the race, but you beat me, you win. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. 3, 2, 1. I'm trying to pick the favorite, Ryan Blaney. That picture was loading slow, right? It was loading slow. Okay. You sure?
Yeah.
Manipulation. You're manipulating. All right. Yeah.
Ryan Blaney.
He's the favorite. He's literally so good at Phoenix. Like, he's the favorite. And you know what? If someone can go back to back in this format, I'd be very impressed.
Yeah.
I'd be very impressed. All right. Who's next on my list? This I don't know. I'm actually
after that. I wish Larson made it, so he would have picked Larson and he ran like 12th. Ugh.
I know. I was ready to pick him. If he would have made it to the final 4, I would have picked him 110%. So, just letting you know. All
right. I got to pick.
All right. 3, 2. Wait, so you're ready? 3, 2, 1.
Go.
Okay, I'm going. Sorry. I juked you out. Manipulation. Joey Logano. We matched on Joey Logano. Okay.
All right. We're running out of Champ 4, guys.
Well, this is good because I'm making it less and less likely for you to actually pick the winner. So this is great for me. This is great.
Oh,
this is all I need.
Not good.
This is great. This is great. I love this. I'm gonna sweep the champ. Let me shut up. Let me shut up. I want to jinx myself. Oh wait,
right.
I like this picture. I don't know. All right, you ready?
Let's go. Yep.
All right, 3, 2, 1. I'm trying to pick Tyler Reddick.
Come on.
This picture is going to be me with Tyler Reddick after the race at Phoenix.
Yeah, because you're so tall. So, like, did you pick the guy in the cowboy hat? That's who you picked?
No,
You didn't
I
pick
picked Tyler Reddick. He's the only NASCAR driver in that picture. So, just
okay,
yeah,
sure.
or it's this official
Okay.
in the background of the picture.
This is annoying.
This could still like be very horrible for me, so I'm not. I'm gonna be nervous all week about this.
All right, let's go. I got another one.
All right, 3.
Your
2,
list better
1.
keep up.
My list better keep up.
I'm going Kyle Larson.
That's evil.
Yeah, now you got to root against Kyle Larson. Yep.
Well, as I said, I'm a Ryan Blaney fan for the next 7 days, so that will not be an issue for me.
You know how cute it would be if Larson won, and then
it wouldn't
Blaney
be
got
cute.
second and won the championship? It'd be very cute.
No.
Yeah.
I don't want Ryan. I don't want Kyle Larson to win anything. He's in timeout.
Oh, he's in timeout. Oh.
He's in timeout. He ain't winning.
So
Chevys are slow.
Zack picked William Byron, the last remaining Champ 4 driver.
Yep. He might actually. That would be such a Mickey Mouse championship if he just wins for the first time in 8 months.
The graphic is going to look so stupid. You're gonna have to like clarify. Like, we both picked Blaney, we both picked Reddick, we both.
I want to do something better for the graphic next year to make that simpler. But
yeah, I'll take this because now I'm gonna have you like in a little stranglehold. You're gonna have to go against Larson
again, dude. Do you not see the shrine? The shrine is dark. I'm perfectly fine with that. This is the one time where I am okay if you pick Kyle Larson. I am mad at him. The problem is you have picked Kyle Larson twice this year and I've gotten wins off of it.
Yep.
But I picked Kyle Larson and he can't win, apparently.
Listen, William Byron could totally win the championship, but I don't know if he has that dog in him to go out there and have a clutch moment.
No, he's not.
So many of his wins have come in fluky situations, which very well could happen, as we've seen tonight. But I don't see that happening. What are you doing?
I was trying to cancel the screen share and I pressed the wrong button. I was like,
okay.
William Byron's a robot. He wins unless someone wants to win more. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so we both picked the two Penske guys first. I was debating whether I want to pick Reddick over Logano, but no, I feel like Logano is going to show up really fast. I think they've been preparing for this race.
I think Penske's going to get a third championship in a row.
I think so. Because, again, Reddick almost doesn't have that dog in him either. Like, he definitely had it at Homestead, but at Phoenix, I think the Fords
Phoenix
if it was Bell,
weird track. Yeah.
If it was Bell instead of Reddick, I think Bell could do something. But
see, I actually thought about picking Bell before Logano, actually, but I was like, let me log out Logano.
I think the mental setback that
True.
Bell's gonna have, and even again Larson, and even maybe Elliott and Hamlin, it's just so hard to go to Phoenix and be like, yeah, I'm gonna go win this race. And people always found it weird that the championship 4 drivers run up front, but it makes sense to me because the only way that you're going to go that 110% fast is to be under that kind of championship pressure. So, but again, we could see something last year, where Ross Chastain gets track position and just, it's hard to pass. So,
yeah.
Should we change our fantasy game at all next year?
I don't know. Let's see how I feel in a week.
Right. The only thing I thought about is either whoever lost the last week or whoever is not leading the points gets to pick first. Because then it's then we don't have to worry about ties as much. You know what I mean? Drawing out. It's just an option. I think it'd make it more interesting.
We could think about it.
Because then there's less gamesmanship.
There'd be an
of,
advantage.
like, blocking.
Like, so for example, tonight, if we would go by that, would I have been able to pick Blaney and you could not pick Blaney? Is that what you're saying?
True. Because it also artificially keeps it close, which I don't like about it, but I mean, it's for the show, so like.
Or would this only
be
a scenario where if you like win a race and then we can't, I don't know. We can talk about it.
I don't know. I think it would be cool because then it's like the graphic makes more sense because it's like, why are these guys picking Byron and Larson at the championship?
Like we look so stupid.
Yeah, right. And like then theoretically we pick more winners. You know what I mean? Like
our listeners and watchers, how about you guys let us know in the YouTube comments or Twitter replies? Let us know what you think.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So this is an idea.
Yeah. Well, with that, we'll conclude the episode. The election's on Tuesday. Make sure you go vote.
Jesus.
Please.
I'm voting on Tuesday.
Yep.
You already voted. Right?
I voted about a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, make sure you go vote. By the time in the Dramala.
Should that be the title of the episode? The Dramala? No.
Probably not.
The Dramala. The
by the time we record next week, we'll know who wins that, and then we'll know who wins the championship.
It's a big week. It's a big week for Americans.
Yeah.
It's a big week for American NASCAR fans.
Yeah.
I remember in 2020 it being on the same week. Because
oh my gosh.
In years before it would be like the Texas weekend, like the 2 weeks before the finale. But
yeah.
Oh wow. Wow.
Well, any last words, Zach, before we wrap it up?
Any last words?
Any last words? I have you by the neck.
Before I off myself for Larson not being in this, I'm so disappointed. That disappointment's really setting in. I was so cocky this morning too about him making it.
You were texting me like Larson's going to win this. He's going to run away with it.
The fact that Byron is the one Hendrick driver to make it. So I feel like it's so undeserved.
Elliott ran so good today. We didn't even really talk about him, but he ran really well today. I feel like he really came alive this late in the playoffs, but it just wasn't enough. He didn't have enough points.
That wreck at Las Vegas too. That's another thing. Like, yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Nothing to say.
Well, we'll have plenty to talk about next week. You can leave a nice comment on YouTube comments, on Apple Podcasts with a 5-star review, and we'll read it on here. You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/gayracingpod. Thank you to those who do that. You can rate us 5 stars on Apple and Spotify. You can like and subscribe on YouTube. We're really close to 400 subscribers on YouTube. Help us get there. Follow us on TikTok at Gay Racing Pod. That is just continuing to grow. Thank you for the support over there. And our socials are at Gay Racing Pod, at Dreamy Zack Racing, and at Newgaden. And I will say again, I am trying to post at least when episodes drop on Blue Sky and Threads for at Gay Racing Pod. So if one of those blow up eventually, we're there.
Yeah. Shout out to all the people that followed my gaming Blue Sky. I have not made a racing one yet.
They were just like, oh, Zach's on Blue Sky? Okay.
So I wonder, do people actually tweet about the race or post about the race on Blue Sky?
I checked it. It was pretty dead. It was just Steve Luvender and Junk Knuckles. So I mean, you were getting quality posts over there.
Those are quality posts, honestly. Yeah. I could survive off just that.
Yeah. So like it's pretty quiet, but you got some high quality stuff over there.
All right. What a weird feeling going into this championship race. I will certainly it's I don't know if it's a good or bad thing that I didn't get to sleep on this, but yeah, I guess I'm rooting for Blaney or Logano, just Team Penske. I think if any of them win, because also like it'd be cool because it's another championship for either of them. So that'd be kind of cool. All right. We'll see y'all next week. Talk about the championship race at Phoenix. That's what it's called. Right. The NASCAR championship race at Phoenix. That's what it's called. There's no 500. All right. See y'all next time. Bye.